We are coming to you live on an afternoon and a special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey, and she's Lori Graves. Good to have you here today.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks for having me.
We had to wait till she got out of school.
Right, and I'm trying to share this link so we can.
I thought you were still a schoolgirl. I thought so.
I am, yes. I left the Pioneer School and rushed here to get here with you. So.
And we've got an update we want to share also.
Yeah, we do.
About your current employment. So
yes.
You want to do that now, or you want to do it after the commercial?
We can do after the commercial. Let's let the folks see the commercial
We'll
first.
do a teaser here.
Okay.
Our interview is brought to you by Rathcam Financial Service. As you can see over our shoulders here, we're going to talk about the events going on at the Majestic Theatre. But in a moment, we're going to learn more about what Lori is going to be doing for a living coming up next.
At Rathcam Financial, we believe in building client relationships for the long term, guiding you through the stages of wealth with a plan and bringing you closer to reaching your financial dreams. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions.
All right, before we get into the Majestic, you have many hats that you wear. Not many hats that you wear.
Many, yes.
And one of those is what you have done with the Pioneer School in recent years.
Yes, I have been a paraprofessional for Ross Pike Education Service District. I've been contracted to Pioneer since 2018-ish. I subbed before that. But last night, I accepted the position of Community Consultant Coordinator for the Ross Board of DD and the Pioneer Center.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's got to be huge because you have an opportunity now to be the voice in some respects.
Yes, I'm anxious to
Pioneer.
work with my supervisor is Lacey Derrickson. She's the community outreach coordinator. Trish Wallace works with inclusion, and Courtney Davis is the Special Olympics coordinator. So we're going to be a girl gang. We're going to be a team, and we're going to make things happen for our people we serve in the area. So it's
Watch
great.
out, women on the move right
Yes,
here. So
yes.
congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Among your other things that you do, you are on the board of directors for the Majestic Theatre.
Yes.
And that's what we wanted to talk about today because we've had entertainment coming your way over the next several weeks, one beginning this coming Saturday.
We are packed. I just want to let the people in the area know when you drive by the Majestic in the next 5 to 6 weeks, please look over because that marquee is going to flip every week. We have so many activities coming up. The one that's going to kick everything off, though, is this Saturday. Paul Francis is coming home.
Chillicothe's Paul Francis.
We talked earlier, the people who don't know Paul Francis, Paul was one of 2 Grammy winners from Chillicothe. And Nancy Wilson was the first one. And then we have Paul Francis.
That's right.
And he's bringing his quartet here. He's working on an album. So I think we're his last stop on the tour before he goes in to record. And I'm just so excited to have him back. He's an amazing drummer. He's a Chillicothe graduate. Was he also in the marching band?
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe so. So he's a great guy. And I like what he does. I like the message he spreads through music. He's very inclusive. He's a teacher. Just a wonderful guy, and he puts on a great show.
Yeah, he was in Cincinnati earlier this week doing some demonstrations, and I believe they're in either Detroit or Cleveland tonight, and then headed to one or the other, and then Newark on Friday before coming back here to Chillicothe. The best show will be here in Chillicothe Saturday night.
Absolutely. Now, the Newark show he's doing is at 31 West, and he and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago. I've performed comedy there about 3 or 4 times, and that's his first time there, so I was telling him how amazing that room is. Yeah. And I know that area supports a lot of the arts, so it'll be a good time for him. I hope he sells out.
Tickets are still available from what I saw on the website.
Yes,
today.
Tickets are still available on the Majestic Theatre website. Again, the Majestic has come a long way. You can click on that show and pick out your seat, just like Ticketmaster, only we don't have all the fees. So
right.
It's a lot cheaper to come to our shows. You can pick out your seat. There are different levels, price levels of seating. And our concession stand will be open for you. You can just bring your ticket in on your phone, and we'll scan it for you at the door. We have ushers that will take you to your seat, and Majestic's high tech now.
You talked about the concession stand, and I know we did a feature on when they started doing all the construction work and everything. If you've not been to the Majestic in the last 5 years, you've got to go because,
yes.
Speaking of having to go, they've got new bathrums.
Absolutely. There's
so
no more dark, dingy bathrooms.
You don't have to go down to a cave to use the bathroom.
Yes.
And soon they will have air conditioning for this summer, too.
It's almost finished. And I made the mistake at the Henry Cho show. It was a $750,000 project, but you know how it is when you're live.
It seems like $1 million.
Yeah, that one word will trip you up. And I knew what I wanted to say, but for some reason into that microphone that night, I said it was our $750 million air conditioning project. Right. And then the board said, hey, no one's ever going to give us money again because of that. So I had to correct myself. But
that's the thing about a live microphone. You can't reel it back in.
You can't. No, it's already out there. But yes, we will have air conditioning in the building for the first time since 1853.
That's incredible.
Happy
to hear that.
Yes.
It's not too bad, during right now, it's not too bad.
No, but when it gets hot in there in the summertime. And
absolutely.
now you can come and see a show and be comfortable in the audience and enjoy yourself.
And the sweating on stage will be from the nerves, not from the heat.
Exactly, yes. So yes.
After we have seen Mr. Francis and his quartet this weekend, what is up next?
Our next thing is March 4th. We are having the God's Will movie screening. Latham Boy, one of your friends, Mr. Eric Grooms, who's also a comedian. He's from Latham. He lives in New York now. He's been very active in the movie making industry, and this is his latest project. It's a great story. I am an extra in it, but he filmed it all in Southern Ohio, and it's the story of two pastors. One is from a mega church, one is from a small country church, and they both, in their own way, lose their way. And it's just a story about how they go through that. And then in the end, one comes back and one does not. You'll have to come to the movie to find that out. But it's just a great story of just about like faith and losing your faith and finding it again.
Yeah, that's incredible. He and I have talked about the writing of this, but when it comes down to actually seeing the product, I can't wait to see that.
There are some trailers out, and I'm amazed. I know a couple of the sets I worked on with him. He brought his film crew from New York, and just everything that they just set up. And I learned a lot about making movies by doing that. I mean, they had the good old apple boxes people were standing on, and just the lighting and just the scenes. And it was a great experience, and I'm glad that he came home to film that. It's a great boost for us. And a lot of his prior movies have done well at film festivals, and I'm hoping this one does well for him also.
March 4th on that one.
March 4th. It's at 6 p.m. The doors will open at 5 o'clock. And again, there's a VIP package for that. If you click on our website, those seats are orange. And if you get one of the VIP seats, you get to come to a pre-show little party. And you'll get to meet the actors and Eric, and they'll get to talk to you about some things. And it's a little extra, but it's fun.
Yeah, you can talk to people and find out what it's like to be in a movie.
Yes.
Which we could do that right now, talking to someone.
We could, yes. But I'm going to save it for Eric, I think, yes.
We're back to music again with the Motown sounds of touch. This group has been here several times.
They are a town favorite, yes.
A lot of people love them.
Yeah, the Motown Sounds of Touch is March 11th, 7:30. Doors open at 6:30, which, as with all of our shows, we open the doors an hour before showtime. But the Motown Sounds of Touch, they're very popular, and a lot of people come to see them. And if you're a Motown fan, or if you grew up in that era, or just if you like that music, this is a good night for you to come out and just kind of relive those days. Yeah. You can stand in your seat and clap if you want to, get in the aisles, snap your fingers, whatever. But it's just it's a good night. It's a feel good night.
And if you're a Gen Zer, this is where you go and learn music, because
or you can listen to the music that all of your people sample. So yes, right. You can get the OG versions of that. So.
Exactly. Now the next night, Our Town, Chillicothe, is on display.
Yes, that's on a Sunday. It's at 3 o'clock. I'll be in the concession stand that day, but I know you have done some interviews with people about that. So why don't you tell us about Our Town?
You can go back and watch the feature on our Facebook page, and I don't think it's on our YouTube channel, but you can see it here in the videos on our Facebook page. But Chris Russo was here from WOUB talking about the making, and they have retooled it because it's been delayed 3 times now because of COVID.
Oh.
All the restrictions. This was supposed to be out in 2021. And so it has been rescheduled again and again, and now it's finally here on March 12th. Now, if you have received information from WOUB, chances are you're in to be able to see it and watch. But if you can't make it, because there's only 500 seats in the theater,
yes.
If you can't make it, they will be streaming it, and the next night they'll show it on WOUB at 8 o'clock and again at 9:30.
Oh, I was not aware of that. That's fun.
So just take a look at the story we have here at littermedia.com, and it'll tell you more. So.
Fantastic. I know all about COVID canceling something.
Oh, yeah.
It canceled my album recording the day before.
The day before.
The state shut down the 13th, and my recording was set for the 14th.
And you saved all that money, right?
I did, but I really wanted to do that album recording, but
Yeah.
it happened. But yes, so
Has
great
that
on
been
that.
rescheduled yet?
I already did that album recording, that one, and I released it last spring. And you can find that on my website starting in the month of April. Be free to download.
And I imagine you had different content because of the COVID.
I did have to rework some of the jokes, yes. And I will let you know, as with my normal comedy, it is adult in nature. So I wouldn't click on it
Around
in
the
the
kids.
Ramey household or in front of children. Just make sure we clear that up. So yes, but yeah. It's called Hot Flashes because I'm 50 and that's what my life. So
I understand that completely. I went through those.
Did you really?
Yeah,
We'll talk about that
with
later.
my wife.
Oh, okay.
And-
All right. I was going to question you personally on that, Dan, but
It's just
okay.
like pregnancy. You go through the morning sickness with your wife too, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Did you have the sweats and stuff?
I did. It was
I'm
horrible.
so sorry.
Yeah. So if you're going through that right now, we're
Dan can sympathize with
yes,
you on that.
absolutely. One of my all-time favorite bands is Chicago. Yes. You got something for me there, did you?
We do on March 25th. Again, this is all in the month of March at the Majestic Theater. On March 25th at 7:30, we have the Brass Metropolis, which is a Chicago tribute band. Yeah. And again, these tribute bands, I've heard different people in Chillicothe kind of poo-poo the tribute bands the Majestic has, but I'm going to tell you what, that Fleetwood Mac tribute band we had last year, they're coming back in October. It's sold out, and I had people messaging me trying to get tickets, and the show was phenomenal. So I have no doubt the Chicago tribute band is going to be any different. Again, 7:30, tickets are on the website. Doors open at 6:30. If you're a Chicago fan, you need to come and see this tribute band because they tour all over the country. And most of these tribute bands sell out everywhere they go. Yeah. So we would like to give them the same reception here in Chillicothe that they get all across the country.
I messaged some of my friends from high school because we had a Chicago tribute band back in 1979.
Did you really?
And so it was amazing to get a chance to do that, but then also to see other bands do the same thing. It's like we all had the same idea, only they're making money off of it. We didn't.
And, people, it's nostalgia. It's a good night to go out with your husband or wife or your partner and just, kind of relive those moments. And so what did you play in the Chicago band?
Trombone.
Trombone. Nice.
Yes. That was
Nice.
Jim,
Brass guy.
Jim Pankow.
Yeah. Nice.
But that is on the 25th.
That is the 25th. March. And that will be our last show of the month of March, but we still have more to come.
No fooling. On April 1st, you've got McGuffey Lane.
McGuffey Lane is back. Yeah. Again, Chillicothe favorite, McGuffey Lane, April 1st at 7:30 p.m. Again, doors open at 6:30. The ticket link is up for that one as well. And we do look for this one to sell out as it usually does.
Yeah. John Schwab was my... His sister was my American history teacher in high school. Yeah.
I've learned a lot by talking to you. Dan and I had some conversations before this happened. I asked him the history of his media career, but I really didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, one of those small world things.
It is, yeah. So you going to go to McGuffey Lane too?
I haven't been to see McGuffey Lane play for a while, although they did play our 25th year class reunion.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you a very easy way to see any show at the Majestic Theater if you'd like to talk about it.
Sneak in the back way?
Volunteer.
Oh, yeah. We could, or you could do that too.
You could volunteer. If you want to come to these shows and help us out, when your job is finished, you can go enjoy the show. So
volunteerism is something that is fantastic here in Chillicothe. The ones who volunteer are awesome. But there are many people out there who could volunteer who have yet to discover the joy of volunteering.
The Majestic Theater, we are a nonprofit. We have a board of directors. We are a working board. We have no employees. So everything we do, these shows we put on are volunteer-based. And at any given show, we need 4 people in the concession stand. We need 4 ticket scanners. We need about 5 to 6 ushers. We need people in the box office. And we have our core group of volunteers, but we're always looking to add more, fresh faces. And I happen to be in charge of volunteers. You can volunteer at the Majestic very easily by clicking on our website. There's a volunteer link. There's an application you can fill out, or you can even contact me directly, and I will get you into our process. We do all of our signups on Sign Up Genius, so it's very easy. I will send out a link, but in order to keep doing all of these shows, we need more volunteers. We want to be a part of the community, and we want to keep putting on fantastic shows and running the theater to people who want to do shows. But to do that, we need volunteers. And if you are interested in doing that, we'd love to have you. I have a mother-daughter team volunteering. Now, naturally, she's younger, so we can't have her behind the concession stand or do anything, but she makes a great little usher. Mm-hmm. And we love having her. We love having young kids because those balcony stairs get kind of tough on old knees.
Amen to that.
So we need, but if you're in high school or you want to come be a part of our volunteer thing, if you're in theater or whatever at your high school, get with me. I'm sure your parents probably know me, so get with me, and I'll be more than happy to get you on our volunteer list because we do need more volunteers.
And if your children are a little older, like say early 20s or so, why not do a tandem there too?
Exactly. I have my mom volunteering at every show.
And she's still in her 20s. It's
she
amazing.
Is, and I don't give her a choice. I just say, hey, Mom, you're going to be at the Majestic on March 25th. Put it in your calendar. That's how we work that. But So, I mean, it's a great thing to do, and it's not a lot of your time. We need you to be there about a half an hour before the doors open. And usually after a couple hours, you're free to watch the show or go home. Yeah. So it's not a huge commitment. It's not anything backbreaking, but it's a great way to meet people and to see the great shows and be a part of the behind the scenes, which a lot of people like to do. And we have some big names coming up. So if you're a volunteer, you might get to go backstage and meet that person and get some autographs and some selfies.
That's the cool thing about being backstage. You get a chance to see them in who they really are.
Yes, and you get to see the whole process of putting on a big show, especially as touring people. I mean, the equipment they bring in, the things that go into putting on a show. If you're not familiar with that, volunteering at the Majestic is a great way to see how that all happens.
Yeah. And so make sure you check out the website, majesticchillicothe.net, and then just go ahead and click on volunteers.
Yes, and like I said, you can get a hold of me personally. I am on social media, my Facebook. I have a comedy page. I do Instagram, Twitter, however you want to get a hold of me. My email is lorigcomedy@gmail.com. That's the one I use for things of this nature. So just shoot me an email and I can get you started.
And you could also track down the bus that she's on too. So
my face is on a bus. Yes, I love that.
When I saw that bus, it came out around the time of Dance for Kids' Sake, and I asked her. I said, "Are you going to have the bus come down and bring you in?" I think that'd be so cool. Drive you right into.
We need to get with Josh Clater at First Capital, and I need to make that my vehicle here in town. Yeah.
Should be interesting. I would like that. Before we wrap up, I know people watching the scroll are going back and forth. There's a young man by the name of Crab, who is from the Crab family.
Yes.
And he's kind of a crossover with country as well as gospel.
Yes.
And several Dove Awards he's won. And
I had to look it up because there's so many. Jason Crab will be at the Majestic Theater on May 19th. He sells out everywhere. He's huge. I know he was at a church in Hillsborough a couple weeks ago. They announced the date 2 weeks before the show. It was standing room only, and people, I guess, were trying to get in.
Wow.
But he has won 21 Dove Awards. He's also won a Grammy, and he was Male Vocalist of the Year along with Song of the Year for the Gospel Music Association. But I'm going down through his bio. I mean, he's worked with Blake Shelton, Brad Paisley, Winona, Vince Gill, Gloria Gaynor. So he definitely is an artist that crosses all music genres. Mm-hmm. And they said, and the girls I know that know him said he's not too bad to look at either.
Is that right?
Yes, I heard he's pretty, I guess. So, but it's going to be a great show. And again, we only seat 505. Yeah. We try to advertise to multiple counties other than Ross County. So this Jason Crab show is a huge deal. And if you want to get tickets for that, I highly advise you to not wait and probably start clicking right now as you're listening to us speak, because this show will sell out. And we'd like to thank Accurate Heating and Cooling for being the major sponsor of this show, because that's who's made it possible for us to bring Jason Crab to Chillicothe.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Anything that we have missed?
I don't think so, Dan. I think we've covered a lot.
There's a lot of things we could probably still talk about. But
But we could maybe just have our own podcast or something one of these days.
Perhaps one of these days.
We could do that.
Watch for Lori and Dan. I'll let
go.
you have, because Mike always gets upset because it's Dan and Mike. So I could let
You know what? I don't mind.
Ladies
I don't
first.
mind. You're legendary, and I think your name should be first. Dan and Lori.
I call Mike iconic. So
Mike's
he is
iconic
the
and you're
icon.
legendary. So
Well, it comes with old age.
maybe we could do Dan, Mike, and Lori.
Hey, little DML.
There we go. I like the way you think. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, all right.
Watch for us on a road show somewhere. One of these days. Thank you for stopping in.
Thanks for
And,
having me.
Well, I think you'll be back again before the year's done.
I think I
So,
will. The Majestic Theater thanks you for letting us come on and talk about our shows.
Fantastic. Thanks again. And thank you for watching as well. Back at it again tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock with another edition of Litter Media Live. Until then, for Lori Graves, I'm Dan Ramey. We'll see you at the Majestic Theater.